Not a bad turnout for the second day, especially given the reception last night, and I'm sure a few of you went out with a few mates afterwards, which is great. So welcome back to day 2 of the International Serious and Organised Crime Conference. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's discussions. All the feedback that I received was that it went pretty well, so we're hoping to replicate that success today and have a good event for you all and provide some more networking opportunities, because that's obviously one of the benefits of a conference like this, getting to know your peers, making those contacts and renewing old friendships. And the friendships part I certainly came across last night quite a lot with some very happy conversationalists. Okay, there isn't much to say to kick off this morning. I'd encourage you, if you get a chance, to spend some time looking at our exhibition booths, which are just behind the hall. There's some really interesting displays set up over there, and you may find them worthwhile in helping you in your work. Housekeeping, there's really only one housekeeping announcement. The closing paper will be delivered by Deputy Commissioner Andrew Colvin, OAM, from the Federal Police, rather than Kevin Zaccato. That's the only change to our program today. We've got another day of strong presentations. Just a reminder, if you haven't already put your business cards in the ACC's lunchtime competition, Lunch with John Lawler and Ben McDivitt, I encourage you to do so. And we'll be drawing that after Ben McDivitt's presentation this afternoon. So you've got to be in it to win it, so I suggest you put your cards forward. Thanks. It's now my pleasure to introduce Professor Richard Fox, the Chairman of the Board of Management at the Australian Institute of Criminology. Richard's been the board chair for 13 years, which is an amazing record, a significant record of achievement. He's been the font of wisdom and support during the tenure of a number of directors at the AIC, and I've certainly benefited from his advice during my term as director. So I'd like to ask Richard to come up and say a few words, if that's all right. Thanks, Richard.
The Australian Institute of Criminology, as Australia's national research and knowledge centre on crime, has been pleased to sponsor this conference on international serious and organised crime in partnership with the Victoria Police, the Australian Crime Commission, the Australian Federal Police and Crimtrack. I'm having completed your first day's exposure to the diverse subject matter of the conference. I'm here as the chair of the Board of Management of the Institute, not only to add my welcome on behalf of the Board of Management, but also to bring you the commercial. You would have already noticed from the sessions that you attended yesterday or in your perusal of the 2-day conference program, the number of speakers who have come directly from the Australian Institute of Criminology. There was first Adam Thomason, the Director of the AIC, in relation to the opening speeches, Raymond Chu on the landscape of organised crime, Jackie Jodo Larson on people trafficking, as well as the AIC's principal criminologist, Dr. Russell Smith, over there, I see, on organised identity crime. And today, apart from this commercial, there will be an opportunity to hear a presentation from Peter Hommel on the impact of law enforcement on serious organised crime. Since the AIC's inception in 1972, 38 years ago, as a joint Commonwealth state enterprise to undertake research and assemble knowledge in relation to crime and responses to crime, thousands of individuals have made use of its sources of criminological information online through its website or in its many publications or in the course of attending institutes, forums or conferences such as this one. The obligation of the AIC to serve a broad range of stakeholders, including the Commonwealth, the states and the territories, is embedded in the Criminology Research Act of 1971, the Commonwealth Act, which created it. Thus, the Institute's statutory functions set out in Section 6 include, and I quote, an obligation to provide information and advice to departments, agencies and authorities of the Commonwealth and of the states and of the territories dealing with the administration of criminal justice. And secondly, to collaborate inside and outside Australia with governments, institutions, authorities and with bodies and persons in relation to research or the training of persons in connection with the administration of criminal justice. That legislation was a product of a belief that a research institute such as ours had a real contribution to make through facilitating and coordinating criminological research and in disseminating research findings and recommendations related to national crime problems. I'm here today to reiterate, as part of this commercial, that the AIC stands ready to collaborate in and outside Australia with governments, institutions and authorities in relation to the conduct of research and the training of persons in relation to appropriate methods of research in connection with the administration of justice. Every agency represented here at this conference has or should have an interest in undertaking research to provide empirical evidence base on which to formulate future policies. There are 9 criminal justice agencies, 9 criminal justice systems functioning in this country, and none has a monopoly on the national interest. There is national representation of states and territories which are responsible for over 90% of the criminal justice business in Australia, as well as the Commonwealth, on the AIC Board of Management. And this enables their priorities to be taken into account in the development of the AIC's research agenda. The Cooperative Federalism governance structures and the Criminology Research Act aim to reduce duplication of research effort that might otherwise be undertaken by the individual stakeholders. And thus, for example, the common needs of states and territories and the Commonwealth are presently served by national monitoring and research programs managed by the AIC in relation to trends in crime areas such as homicide, drug use, firearms theft, deaths in custody, armed robbery, juveniles in detention, fraud against the Commonwealth, money laundering and the financing of terrorism and trafficking in persons. And these monitoring programs serve to identify emerging crime and changes to criminal activity which can help inform future prediction of demand for law and justice services in Australia at federal, state and territorial level. The AIC also reports on offending and victimisation patterns as an evidence base to inform policy for more effective criminal justice responses and crime prevention strategies. We are keen for agencies to make use of the data which we have gathered in our monitoring program, some of which is freely available interactively on the Institute's high demand web pages at www.aic.gov.au. You have to repeat these things in commercials. And we are interested, genuinely interested, in suggestions or advice from you on these or other areas of interest or how our databases may be improved. The Institute is willing to tender for or undertake commissioned research, either wholly on its own using its internal expertise or in team partnerships with sponsoring agencies. And to those who are undertaking their own research in-house, it stands ready to provide advice on appropriate research methodology, sampling sizes, the implication of findings, and to provide a vehicle for publication or dissemination of results. We are also willing to convene roundtables where different stakeholders with an interest in particular common area exchange experiences and begin to draft ideas for pilot projects leading to refinements of research instruments and more efficient undertakings of large projects. I've already mentioned the names of the AI staff who are already listed in the program for this conference, and certainly the Director Adam Tomlinson and the Principal Criminologist Dr Russell Smith would be happy to have informal and preliminary chats with you about any research matters which might benefit from our substantial knowledge base and research expertise. So talk to us. We would like to hear from you. That's the commercial. Thank you.